I'm Steve Perry.
I'm Sheila.
This is the commanding officer of this establishment, and this is the Davidstow Airfield and Cornwall War Museum, and we're dedicated to all three services in Cornwall from 1914 to the present. This weekend is our annual War Machines weekend, when we invite fellow nutters to bring all their equipment with them, their vehicles, their various living history groups, and come here and put on a bit of an extravaganza for the public to actually enjoy. And today, at the moment, we have got some sunshine. We had a glorious day yesterday, but some heavy rain this morning.
So how many vehicles have you got on site?
There's 30 here at the moment. We've got 30, and those, some will be World War II, some are post-war, of various nationalities. But with the vehicles come the people. They're dressed in the appropriate uniforms, and they're also living history groups. They don't have vehicles, they just have all the equipment. And they set up the period campsite. There's also weapons displays that will be coming on a bit later on. Well, the airfield, this is the highest airfield in Britain at 970 feet. They started building it in 1941. And it opened in 1942, and at the time it was the longest runways in the southwest of England, and although it was an RAF station, the American heavy bombers were the first to use it. And they came here for a while to attack the U-boat pens around the Bay of Biscay. The RAF regarded it as a coastal command airfield. Wellington's, Warwick's, Beaufighters, etc. chasing U-boats and enemy ships, but the American bombers were often here, including the Memphis Belle. As soon as the war is over, it's closed, and the airfield itself is on the moors, and it reverted to common grazing. But in the 50s it was a Formula 1 racing circuit for 3 years, and Stirling Moss gave Lotus their very first Formula 1 victory here at Davidstow. The military still train on the surrounding moorland and the airfield with troops and helicopters, and they came here to rehearse to retake the Falklands in 1982. This airfield is a very historic place. As well as being the highest airfield in Britain, it was the birthplace of ground controlled approach. Fido was trialled here, and we do airfield tours in July and August in a little crew bus, hour and a half detailed airfield tours. And for anybody who's into airfields, it is a must. Just make contact. We'd like to thank everybody who supported this event, all the reenactors and those with the vehicles that consume vast amounts of expensive petrol to get here, the stall holders, soul searchers, and all the volunteers that have made this weekend possible, and of course the public who have chosen to come here today instead of sitting on a nice beach somewhere. Thank you to all of you.
This is a 1954 Praga V3S Volinsky 3 Special. It's Czechoslovakian army truck basically. It's go anywhere, 3 axles, 2 wheels, 2 axles drive all the time, 3rd axle whenever you want it to. 7.5 litre straight diesel. This particular one's 1954, and it used to be a radio body truck based over in Czechoslovakia. Believe it was reserve stock, and at some point could well have been used in East Germany.
So how did you get to come across it then?
Well, we saw it last year, dare I say it, on one of the military websites. Missed out on it. And then earlier this year it came up for sale again, because the chap that bought it unfortunately passed away. So we sort of spur of the moment thing, thought we'd go for it, and so we did, and that was May Bank holiday, and here we are end of July, and we've got it. So
well, there's not a lot of sort of battle reenactments in Devon and Cornwall, so we tend to go up country and more mid Wales, up around Bristol and things, and sort of a bit further up the line. But yeah, we do the reenactments. It's normally a sort of a Normandy, northern France, northern Europe sort of situation, with the Americans and the British fighting the Germans. We did one a few weeks back with the 2nd Battle Group, which is an SS unit, and that went pretty well with a Panzer III tank, and we had a American half-track along with various British vehicles, jeeps, personnel carriers and things, and with pyrotechnics going off, and yeah, it was a very good battle. It was when you're actually sort of in the grass, peering over the top, and you see an American half-track wading across a river, and you see the soldiers get out and start fanning into a straight line. You can almost imagine yourself being back to that time, actually sort of witnessing that kind of thing. And all right, there was no bullets whizzing through the air or anything like that, but to actually see it, it sort of brings the history side of it to life. Like, it's very good.
Over the last 3 years, I've basically been collecting all the different weapons you see here, and I don't specifically go for World War II. There's a bit of stuff you would see in Afghanistan at the moment, modern British Army, and German World War II and British World War II. And I quite like collecting different types of grenades and all sorts of other things as well. Trailer I've just restored. It took me 2 weeks to restore that from a bit of rust to as you see it now. And that's about it, really.
Have you got a favourite part of your collection then?
I think this one's my favourite, the German MG42 machine gun. It's one of the most expensive bits, but it is, yeah, it's quite a nice bit of kit. So that would be my favourite one.
Right, so we're with Reenactment Southwest down at Davidstow Airfield. This is an M1 Garand, the main American rifle used in World War II. It's got a range of about 600-700 metres effective range, and it uses a clip with 8 rounds. To load it, you cock the weapon, put in the clip, push the clip all the way down until it sits in the chamber, bring the working parts forward, and because it's semi-automatic, you can then fire 8 times. Each time you pull the trigger, it will fire. The bullet leaves the barrel. The gas behind the bullet goes down a small hole, recocks the weapon each time after you fire, and ejects the cartridge out. Okay.
The uniform you're wearing, that's airborne.
That's 82nd Airborne. Yeah, I have to think, because my son's 101st. I know more about the 101st, but it annoys him that I do 82nd. So, but the next bit to that is once you've fired those 8 rounds out. I mean, this is awkward because it's deact. You can't actually do a lot of things that you should be able to, but he does this a lot better than me. It's his rifle. Right. So when you fired your 8 rounds, you're left. The cartridge is ejected, the bullet's gone, and you're left with an empty clip in the rifle. After the 8th round, it ejects the clip, and on all the films with Americans in, that's the sound that you hear, the ping of the clip leaving the rifle, and the story goes that everybody knows that your rifle's empty. But whether you can actually hear that, I've seen demonstrations done where they fired live and nobody's ever heard that the clip's gone, so whether that's just a bit of a myth or not.
Yeah, hi, my name's Ben Davis, and this is a Willys Jeep, and we got this in France. We had it about 15 years, and we use it quite a lot. We go to reenactments, and we also take it to France. We've just been to the invasion celebrations. In France, we went on the 25th of May, came back on the 10th of June, where she was driven around with all the other vehicles, which are, you know, a really busy time in Normandy, and a big celebration from the invasions. And they're very reliable, and they're a wonderful tool. I mean, coming off the Utah beach, if you look, you see these were the prime transport for, and they're also used as ambulances as well. They used to put the tops down and put stretchers on them across when in the battlefields, you know, to carry people. All sorts of uses, really. Officers transported airfields. Probably here on Davidstow, they reckon there were hundreds of them at the time.
Hello, I'm Sue from Soul Searchers Kerno, and this is Bev, our founder, Bev Parks. And we're based up at Davidstow Military Museum, where we do ghost hunts. We have had lots of unusual things going on here, and if you're interested, you can always look us up on our website, which is www.soulsearcherskerno, and you can see what actually goes on and what we actually do. Bev can tell you more about the things that go on here than I can, so cue Bev.
Right, this place has increased in activity lately, purely because they've been doing some renovation work, which normally increases paranormal activity. We've had quite a bit of activity in the squash courts. We do have friendly spirits here, we don't have any nasty ones, which is fortunate. The ones in the squash courts, like the ladies do get touched quite intimately at times. It is quite a good laugh. We like to have fun because that encourages activity around us. We've also got a spirit in the ballroom area who's quite protective of his property. He's got some stuff in a cabinet. He has pushed people, but not hard. He doesn't like anyone near his belongings, and he's quite active. So why don't you come along and join us? You know, we get people touched all the time, we get people pushed. We had people having their hair stroked last time they were here. Ladies especially get affected here, obviously because it's a lot of servicemen and they haven't probably seen many women for a while. So pop along, have a nice night with us, have a good laugh, and hope to see you soon.
Bye.